Good evening, Woodruff Wolverine fans. Welcome to another episode of the Woodruff Wolverine Coaches Show. My name is Brad Phillips, and we're here live at Tap 3, Main Street, Woodruff, South Carolina, as we are every Tuesday during football season. Thanks again to Tap 3 for their hospitality each week and hosting the Woodruff Wolverine Coaches Show. Our guest first up this week is Miss Brooke Bailey, the head volleyball coach of the Woodruff Middle School volleyball. And if you don't know about Brooke, I think the official total is in 2 years, Brooke is 30-0.
That's
Woodruff
correct.
Middle School is 30-0 in volleyball, unbeaten in the past 2 years, conference champions both years. Brooke, so good to have you on tonight to talk a little bit about middle school girls volleyball.
Yes,
And so this is your second full year, obviously, at the middle school. Give us a little bit of insight as to, I know you played when you were in school, and what made you kind of want to jump into coaching middle school at the girls at the middle school level?
So when I was in college, Coach Morris, he reached out asking, if I would be interested jumping back in to volleyball, and I jumped right in with a head start. I just wanted to give back, give back to the community that poured into me.
Yeah.
And so it's been a blessing, truly.
Yeah, awesome. Well, for anybody out there that's listening knows that Brooke was a great volleyball player in her own right during middle school and high school. She wouldn't admit it to you, but Brooke was a great athlete overall, really great volleyball player. And be able to come back and kind of start teaching girls at a younger level, I know that's something that you're passionate about, because in any sport, really, the fundamentals are something that's super important to start early, right?
Yeah, so we talk about in practice, like, you've got to have the basics. If you don't have the basics and the fundamentals, then you can never continue to grow on your basics to get better.
Yeah, and volleyball's become a pretty big deal, right? In the upstate and nationally, it's pretty much a year-round kind of thing now, right? Is that?
Yes, sir.
If you're involved in club or other kind of teams, travel type teams, like it's basically 12 months out of the year. Is that right?
It is, yes, sir. Especially if you're involved in club, it is year-round. So.
Yeah, so each school in the Foothills Conference kind of has their own team, and we play a 10-game region schedule, right? Is that right? 10 games
Yes,
is
sir.
kind of the regular schedule for the volleyball season in the fall. But we have a lot of players that are involved with stars and other club-type volleyball stuff outside of school. If you're a parent wanting to get your child involved in volleyball, is there a specific advice you would give them? Would you say, go ahead and get involved in club, or find a competitive travel team prior to coming on campus in the fall for, your regular school volleyball season? Any tips that you would give people out there that might be listening?
So I would say definitely get involved in club if that's something you're interested in. I know personally my 7th grade year, I played 1 year of club volleyball, and that helped me with the basics and the fundamentals. But I would also say Coach Westmoreland puts on great pride, the Pride Volleyball. So any player or parent out there that is interested, definitely get your kid involved with everything that Coach Westmoreland puts on. That's a great opportunity.
Now tell us a little bit more about that program. That's a program that's available pre-middle school?
Correct.
Is that right?
Correct,
Tell us a little bit
yes.
about how that works.
So the younger ages are able to get involved in some gameplay and some tournaments, and just really learning those underlining fundamentals to be able to come over to the middle school and to be able to show us what they have at that level.
Yeah, and it's kind of like what we're doing with wrestling and football and baseball and some other sports, but we're doing it for volleyball now in order to help train that sort of below 7th grade group, kind of
Yes,
get them
sir.
some pre-training before coming into the middle school, right?
That's correct. Yes, sir.
Well, tell me a little bit about coaching the past 2 years. What's been some of your most fun moments? Maybe some of your challenges. maybe something funny. I don't know. Tell us some of the highlights of the past 2 years that you're pumped about.
Really, what's been nice to see about, the past 2 years is the growth and development overall. It's been fun to watch from those girls coming in as a team together to having the highs and the lows, you know, just seeing that growth and having fun each day. We preach, you got to be big on the little things. So we can have fun in practice, but it's also business. So just the past 2 years have been awesome. All years have been awesome.
Yeah, I love it. I was able to come to a bunch of games this year and watch our girls play, and just the methodical way that our girls approach the game is pretty awesome to see. If you haven't seen middle school volleyball, volleyball at the varsity level, I would highly encourage you because it's super fast now. When I was a student, the point scoring was different in the game. All of that structure was different. And now it's a longer game, right? So it's 25 points to win right now.
Correct. Yes,
which
sir.
Previously, if you followed volleyball in the past years, it was not that way. And I think at you guys' level, you have to win 3 of 5, right?
Correct. Yes, sir.
So
3 to 5.
Yeah, each match you got to win 3 out of 5 in order to win. So the rules have changed a little bit, and this is one thing that I wanted to get your input on. Okay, and you'll have to correct my terminology if I'm not using it correctly. But there's been a little bit of a change, like at the national level, as to how you can or can't carry the ball. Like you can push the ball, catch the ball a little bit different than you used to in the past, and it's not going to be a foul. What has that trickled down into varsity level, middle school, club level? What does that look like since it's changed?
So more in the national, that's where I've heard of it more. Our refs at our level typically say they're going to let us play. Yeah. They're going to let us play it out. We work on the fundamentals at our level. So as long as they're not bringing it down and carrying it, they're not going to call it.
Right.
So luckily, they just let our girls play and learn from their mistakes, really. So.
Yeah, I kind of noticed that on the middle school level when I watched some games this year that, there was, if it was blatantly obvious and you were in the net, you were under the net, there's just stuff that you can't let. That's the stuff you can't let go, right?
That's right.
Not many super controversial calls going on. But next year, so as of next year, you guys are going to shift to a new building, right?
Correct.
This is hilarious to me, okay? But I'm going to ask you this, how you feel about this. How do you feel about the opportunity to have a gym ceiling that's twice as high as the current gym ceiling that you're playing? Is that going to be awesome or
That's going to be awesome. So I was talking actually to somebody the other day, and they had mentioned that, and I said, it's going to be awesome to not have to worry about knocking a light down. So I'm excited.
Yeah, because it's always been frustrating when other schools come to the middle school to play volleyball, and, we had to kind of set up a rule to where if the ball hits the ceiling on your side, then you can still play the ball and try to get the point. But if the ball hits the ceiling and goes on the other side, the point is over.
Correct.
And I definitely saw several opposing coaches that were super frustrated with that rule. Mm-hmm. But we've got the opportunity now to move to a new school and a new gym, bigger space, all that kind of stuff.
Yes.
That's going to allow us to eliminate the ceiling rule. Is that what we call it? What do y'all call it? I don't even know.
Just the ceiling in general, because we talk about getting the ball off of the ceiling. You should have high passes, but your pass should not be hitting the ceiling.
Yeah.
So, and two, that's where I played volleyball at. So going back, being able to teach, I'm excited. I'm excited.
I love it. I love it. But we've got a really great program going. If you're out there listening, you have any, if your child is interested in becoming a part of the volleyball program, all the way down to the middle school level, we really have a great program going now. Coach Westmoreland is at the varsity level now, and she's tried to put together an overall great program. As far as coaching in the off season and things that happen in the off season, how much can you and Coach Westmoreland be involved in some of the club teams and any of the training in the off season? How much are y'all able to be involved in any of that stuff?
So I knew Coach Westmoreland, she does spring practices and jumping into spring practices. But for the middle school level, we jump into summer practices just because I host a meeting before summer, get those that are involved and that are interested, and they're coming to work on their skill. And the weight room too, getting those athletes in the weight room, introduced to the weight room and those fundamentals.
So you guys can start at the middle school level with volleyball. You guys can start basically at the end of school. And if you're on the JV or varsity level, they can actually do some practices in the spring. Is that how that works?
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes, sir.
So the other part of it that you and I were talking about earlier is the fact that even at our middle school level, we have some strength and speed training options available. How does that play into volleyball, and what's available for athletes in volleyball with the strength side and the speed training side?
So our athletes in middle school have the Block Zero program that Coach Thomas puts on at the high school, and they're able to go and work on those baseline fundamentals. At their age, they're not just jumping into the weight room. He's teaching them the proper ways, and the proper ways for them in the weight room carry over into the gym and how to be an athlete on the court.
So essentially, at Woodruff High School, Woodruff Middle School, our overall athletic program, we're incredibly blessed to have what we have with Coach Thomas on site. We got some great coaches in the volleyball program, and as an overall, athletic program, we're set up to do pretty well. Have you seen the new weight training room yet?
Yes, I was actually talking to one of my students today about it, and my PE students are even excited about it and talking about how awesome it looks.
Yeah, because you teach PE as well at the middle school level, right? So you guys are going to have access to a big old gym. You can have two basketball courts kind of going at the same time.
Yes.
You guys are not going to know what to do with yourself.
I know. I'm excited.
Yeah, it's
See what
pretty,
the future holds.
It's pretty awesome to be able to shift the middle school over to what's currently the high school building. Definitely going to have more room, some more options. All those kind of things are going to be available. Brooke, anything that you want to share specifically about volleyball, maybe that you want to share with sixth graders coming up? Or seventh graders moving up to eighth, any information that you might have that you want to share with potential players or parents or anything, any information like that you might want to share?
I would just say overall, if you are a rising sixth grader, come to the meeting for summer. If you're a fourth grader, a third grader, get involved, get outside with the volleyball and just play. Just be a kid and go outside and have fun.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about.
Get dirty. Go outside and get dirty, right? Go outside and get dirty.
That's
play
right.
in the dirt.
Scrape your knee. That's right. That's right.
I love it. Any information you want to share about how did you share how to sign up for volleyball? What's the process? Does that happen at the end of this year? Tell us one more time about how you could sign up to be a part of. It's a tryout, right?
Yes, it's a tryout. So at the end of this school year, I will host a meeting at the middle school, and information on social media will be posted as well. And the tryout dates will be posted along with the meeting. So everything will be posted out there at a later date.
Fantastic. One of the things that I want to do before you go, okay? Yeah. Brooke kind of got snubbed for Coach of the Year. 30-0, 2 years in a row, right? So this is for your Grampy. He's out there listening right now.
Hey, Grampy.
I want you to pick up that piece of paper right there.
This one?
Yeah. So it says People's Choice Coach of the Year. Y'all give Brooke a hand. So People's Choice Coach of the Year, 30-0, 2 years running. We're super proud of you, Brooke.
Thank you.
Super proud of the work you've been able to do at the middle school. Glad to have you on board with Woodruff Athletics.
Thank
you. We are going to take let's see, is Coach Sloan? There's Coach Sloan. We're going to take a break just a second. As you can tell, we got a ton of folks in here tonight. There might be some varsity players in here eating some wings right now. There's a few varsity players in here eating wings right now. So we're going to take a break for just a second. We're going to come back with Coach Brett Sloan. And we've also got a special guest. If you're out there watching, Coach Randy Burns is here tonight with Coach Sloan. They're going to be coming up in just a few minutes. Hang tight with us, and we're going to be back in just a few minutes with the Woodruff Wolverine Coaches Show. All right, everybody, we are back here live at Tap 3, Main Street, Woodruff, South Carolina. As always, thank you to Tap 3 for the hospitality each week to host the Wolverine Coaches Show live each week. Buy one, get one. Flatbreads are still be going on through what we are hoping is going to be about 5 more weeks of football. Mm-hmm. So you guys,
what we're pulling for.
You guys plan on coming each Tuesday night because we're going to be here each week during the playoffs. We've got a room full of football players tonight. Somewhat of a little bit of a region championship type of. There's a feel of a region championship celebration going on. You can feel it in the air in here. There's a lot of wings being consumed right now in celebration of making it happen. And that's one of the things that I wanted to just go ahead and say first. This is the first region championship ever in Coach Sloan's head coaching career. Y'all give him a hand. Come on. So
thank you, Brad.
We're pumped. We're pumped for all these guys that are sitting in here who worked so hard to make this happen, along with the coaching staff and Coach Sloan. First region championship for the Woodruff Wolverines in 10 years, Coach Burns. 10 years is the first one we've had one. And so we're incredibly excited. A lot of energy and a lot of excitement going on around Woodruff Athletics at this time of year. We also brought up a special guest for tonight. Coach Sloan didn't know. I don't believe Coach Sloan knew he was coming.
I did not know at all. I did not know at all.
I think Brittany and I were able to slip that in on you without you knowing.
She let me know.
Okay. Gotcha.
I'm starting to put a lot of things together on how this happened now, that I've thought about it. But
I contacted Brittany and I was trying to think of, maybe some people that have been influential in your coaching career, kind of knowing this was a pretty cool milestone in your career to get that first region championship under your belt. So Coach Burns, if you're out there listening, for those of you who don't know, this is Coach Randy Burns. Coach Burns was at Chapman. Coach, I'm trying to do the math. 20 years?
22 years.
22 years, okay. Coach Burns gave the Woodruff Wolverines some good whoopings over the years.
And got some in return.
We'll say it that way. If you're a Woodruff Wolverines fan out there, you'll remember the Toby Cates era. That's one of the games that I remember a lot, Coach. Probably 87 or 88, maybe. I don't remember the right year.
88, yes.
And Toby Cates and crew came into W.O. Warner Stadium and whooped us. And that's one of the games that I vividly remember happening over the years between Woodruff and Chapman. But Coach Burns, thank you for coming out, being a part of this tonight.
Thank you for having me.
I know that Coach Sloan really has admired you over his career and thought the world of you. So I thought it would be cool to come in and maybe get your take a little bit on Coach Sloan's career. Maybe tell us some inside stories that we might not know about.
Here we go.
Yeah, so that's something that we could definitely do tonight, is to tell some tales on Coach Sloan. We were just talking before we came on the air that it's possible that Brett is number 3 on the all-time passer list. We think that's right. We could be wrong, but we think he still holds the record as the number 3 pass. Coach, you said you held the record for how long?
I held it from about 2002 to, I'm going to guess, 2014, Coach Settle might know, because I think he would have been, I don't know. Who was it? Colasardo broke the passing record at Chapman? Was it Colton? Yeah, I think Colton was the first one to break it, you know. Right. But I think that would have been, what, 2015, 2016? It's 15. He was 15, 16. So from 2001 to 2016 or so, I think I held the record for total passing yards in a career. So.
Fantastic. Yes. So these young bucks out here listening, you can brag on your coach for a little bit for holding the all-time passer record at Chapman for a long, long time. Coach Burns, I know we were talking earlier. I think we've met once or twice before, but I was looking at kind of over the years, your coaching career kind of spanned from, you started at Seneca. I believe that was your first job, right?
Yes, Seneca, when I got out of college, went there for 5 years.
Right, and Woodruff folks will know you from head coach job at Chapman. Chesney was first, right?
It was, yes.
Yeah, so Coach Burns was at Chesney for a while and then moved over to Chapman with the infamous Doc Davis.
Yeah, Doc and I were teammates at Gardner-Webb.
Right.
And we're still good friends. We actually we'll get together and ride to the Gardner-Webb games together.
That's great.
Hang out.
Yeah, Woodruff Wolverine fans remember Doc Davis and Coach Varner's infamous summer scrimmages, or preseason scrimmages that would go on for 3 hours or 3.5 hours. Those were some infamous days. And even when Coach Davis went over to Spartanburg, they would still scrimmage, rain, snow, sleet, or shine, until neither one of them would say quit. So those are some infamous days between those guys. And Coach, you definitely have had a storied career. I've talked with many coaches and players around the state that your name comes up a bunch. And there's a lot of folks who think the world of you. And I appreciate you taking your time to come out with us to kind of celebrate this guy a little bit.
Well, I appreciate you having me. Brett means a lot to me. He was our starting quarterback for 3 years. And he probably wasn't the biggest, probably wasn't the fastest. He was a leader.
Yeah.
And if I remember right, Brett, you may help me here. We won like 3/4 of your games.
Yeah, we won 75%. I think we went 6-5 that first year as sophomores. We got in the playoffs and had to go down to Chesterfield. Remember, on what felt like the coldest night in the history of South Carolina high school football.
Right.
That was a miserable night.
Yeah,
and they halftime we were getting beat pretty bad, and they put us in a baseball dugout at halftime, and we were freezing.
Wow.
We got up on the field late in the second half, and the official told me, he said, I might penalize you for coming up here late. I looked at the scoreboard and I said, do you think you can do anything to make me feel any worse?
Yeah.
He said, all right, let's just play ball. So I said, we'll just run the clock. But Brett, we won 2 conference championships, 2 region championships with him at quarterback.
Right. I remember that was some good years for Chapman football during that time.
I think we went 11-2 2 years in a row, if I remember right. I know the regular season was 9-1 both years. Yep. We lost the opener to Greer, and then we won the final 9. I guess it was my senior year. We lost by a field goal to Greer or something. It was really close. I don't
Very
remember.
close,
It was really close. So.
Because I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but I think at that era was still Appalachian 2A.
It was
kind of.
It was still Appalachian 2A. So it was
Woodruff and
Woodruff, Chapman, Chesney, Broome. I think Woodmont and Carolina were in there with us too, weren't they, Coach?
were.
I think
Yeah.
that was.
Yeah, there were several years. There were several years where they all floated in.
Yeah.
And at one point, you guys may not remember, Southside High School in Greenville was part of that conference. It's
Yeah,
in and out a little bit too.
that's
So.
right.
But yeah, Coach Burns, you have. Let's see. I think you officially left Chapman in 2006. Is that right? Is that the right year?
I believe that's right. Yes.
And you became involved in FCA. Is that correct?
Well, when I retired, I actually retired at Chapman, and Coach Davis asked me if I would come down and coach with him at Spartanburg. Went down there for 1 year, and he resigned, and at that point, he took the head coaching job at a brand new school in Somerville, Ashley Ridge High School.
That's right.
And my wife and I moved down there. And we both coached together there for 2 years. He retired again, and I retired again. And I stayed on and got with Fellowship of Christian Athletes, did 11 years down there before we moved back up here to be close to our grandchildren.
Right. And I tell people all the time that the coaching profession is always a lot like being a preacher or pastor, in my opinion, because I've never seen a profession who retires more than one time than preachers and coaches, right?
Right.
I could see that. And, I remember when Coach Davis went down because it was a big deal for the new school opening down there,
Yeah.
kind of just getting the program. Coach Davis and you guys were part of being able to get that program started down there.
Yeah, we had an odd situation down there. We went down there and we just had 9th and 10th graders, and we had to go in and play a varsity schedule. And when we got those players, Somerville High and Fort Dorchester High had gotten all the players. So we had like 85 players come out.
Right.
And we found out when we took a little survey of them, only 25 had ever been in a football uniform.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah. And the first game we had, I looked at my defense. 9 of my starters were in that group who had never been in a uniform. So that's how good our ones who had been in uniform were.
Right. Yes, sir. I know that kind of in recent years, Fountain Inn High School was kind of approached in the same way.
Yep.
And they've been able to, develop a program starting with 9th and 10th grade up to.
Coach, you've got a pretty good relationship with Coach Nicholas, don't you?
Yes.
Brett, yeah. So
Yeah, I do.
Brett does,
Yeah.
Coach knows Coach Nichols well, and he's done a really good job over there. They've done
really
a fantastic job.
Yeah, and being able to, having the challenge, I guess is the right word, of playing a varsity schedule, building a program from the ground up. To me, it's paid dividends for a school like Fountain Inn, who's competing really well and kind of being thrown into the 4A division right out of the gate. Unless Coach Sloan knows different, I believe they filled up that school within 2 years. They filled up
they
that
did.
school and had to have portables coming in.
Yeah.
So being able to go into programs like that and start from scratch, I guess it has. Maybe you can speak to this a little bit, Coach Burns, about the challenges of having to approach a program are there benefits or challenges to going into a program like that?
I think probably a little of both. The challenges are just trying to get some guys who had really, a lot of them had never played. And I mean, I'm talking not even Little League. And that group was unusual though. We left after 2 years. I stayed down in the area down there.
Because you stayed with FCA, right?
I did.
Right.
And that was one of the schools I worked with. But by the time that those young men who had started with us as 9th graders were seniors, that they had gone from 2A to 4A in 1 year.
Wow.
And there was no 5A then.
Right.
And they ended up going 10 and 4.
Wow.
in 4A ball.
4A, right.
Yeah. So they really had learned well, and I know Doc did a great job getting them prepared. And the coaches, I think, learned a lot from Doc and went on and just took it and ran with it.
Fantastic, Coach.
Yeah.
We had a note come in from a former Woodruff player, Mr. Charles Ferguson. He played. He said he remembered playing against you in the 1992 Region Championship. Wanted to tell you hello, and he vividly remembers that game. I believe Charles was been a senior that year, but just wanted to tell from a former Woodruff Wolverine. He wanted to tell you hello, and he remembered playing against you in that game.
I always appreciated playing against Woodruff. I know early in my career I didn't appreciate it quite as much, but Coach Varner and I, both being athletic directors and head football coaches, oddly enough, he was the same age as my father.
Okay.
And they actually both graduated high school, Spartanburg High School, the same
right.
year.
Okay.
Did not know each other, but they graduated the same year.
Wow.
But Coach Varner and I, primarily through the athletic director job, we got to be pretty close.
Right.
And he would call me, I would call him, we would talk a good bit. And I really had everybody had a great deal of respect for him, but I knew him, I think, a little more personally than a lot of guys.
Yeah, it was a little bit different off the field than it was kind of an on the field relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the coaches only knew him on the field, players knew him at practice,
Mm-hmm.
which was a whole different thing. But Coach Varner was a special guy and a legend in his own right.
Mm-hmm.
He racked up a ton of wins
Oh.
in his career, a ton of state championships.
Yes.
And just an incredible coach all the way around.
Yes.
Coach Sloan, give us a little one of the things maybe that sticks out in your mind about Coach Burns. Something funny or something that happened during you guys' career together at Chapman.
Coach Burns was. I think that the thing I remember the most about Coach Burns is how animated he would get, and I've never ever heard Coach Burns say a cuss word, and he never will, and he never has on the football field.
Right.
But some of the words he would use to describe things, to get his point across. There was a lot of dad burnets, and there was a lot of I've seen him break several clipboards. So he was a very passionate coach, but. I just remember how well he treated all of us as players is the biggest thing I remember, and I remember the impact that he's had on me, the impact that he's had on. I think about guys like Jason Parks and David Pruitt and Donnie Parks and like the list of people, Jermaine Petty, Rodney Mooney,
Petty, I forgot about him.
all those guys. Man, if you lined everybody up to talk about Coach Burns, to thank him. We wouldn't have enough time in a day to do it, and so that's what I remember the most about him. But he was pretty good at chunking a clipboard too. I've seen him punt one and everything, So he and just now looking back on it as a coach, just how fundamentally sound he got people to be, and the attention to detail and things. I would hope that that's something that I've learned from him, and that when you see my teams play, our teams play, that they're very, very fundamentally sound and they tackle really, really well, and he got us to play as a unit, and that was a whole lot of fun, Coach, thank you for everything you've done for me. I still, Coach sends me a text every morning about before 6 a.m. He leads a devotion of coaches. Some of them I know, some of them I don't know, and he still to this day disciples me, and I'm so grateful for it, and thankful for it. So,
well, Coach Burns, now it's your. You can tell us one on Coach Sloan, where all these young guys out here might have a tale that you could tell about maybe something notorious you remember about Brett in the 3 years of him playing quarterback.
Well, there was 3 interceptions against Greer. I remember that one. So.
I even though I was head coach, I pretty much stayed on the defensive side, so I kind of turned him over to the other guys. But he, I he did a good job of keeping a cool head out there.
Yeah.
And just kind of staying in control of things. And, thankfully for most of the games that we played, but he was playing, we were usually ahead. And he did a good job of keeping us ahead and keeping us in the game. But I think he got upset with me one game, playoffs.
No, it was at home. The only time I ever got mad at Coach Burns, where he really probably had to get on me, was at home. It was on my birthday against Carolina.
I remember.
And I threw for 198 yards in the first half.
He pulled you out.
He pulled me. I didn't play a play in the second half.
Yeah.
And that's probably the only time that I can remember us ever.
He wasn't talking to me that night. Yeah.
Pouting a little bit.
Yeah.
Pouting a little bit. Right.
But, with playoffs coming up, we wanted to make sure that
He was going to be fresh.
he was going to be healthy.
Right. I can understand that.
And I understand it so much now.
Yeah, thancefully, he's in your shoes right now because we're about to play game 10.
Yeah.
We won the region, so we got a home field advantage portion of the bracket. At least for 3 games, we know we have home field advantage. I'm gonna put you on the spot. What would you tell Coach Sloan and this staff? What's one piece of advice you would give all these guys and this staff going into what could be an important run in the playoffs coming up?
We always tried to make sure we didn't overcoach, didn't try to do too many new things. I just felt like if we were solid throughout the year, then what we were doing would take us through the playoffs.
Right.
And I've seen coaches that go in and try to do things differently, maybe in their practices. I go when I was with Fellowship of Christian Athletes, I spent a lot of time at football practices. I saw a lot of guys who I really admire the way they practice, the way they coach. I've seen some that didn't really care too much for it.
Right.
But I've seen some guys who they get to the playoffs and they would try to change everything.
Yeah.
And it usually didn't turn out very well for them.
Well, I can tell you that Coach Sloan has already said about 5 times this year that we need to do what we do well. We need to do what we do and do it extremely well. Mm-hmm. I think it's the quote that he's used several times. So he's taking it to heart. He's listened to you over the years, it sounds like.
Well, I got to know down at Somerville, I got to know John McKissick pretty well.
Wow.
And I would go watch them. This was a guy that was in his 60th year of head football coach.
Right. Yeah, he went almost 10 years longer than Coach Varner, I believe.
I would watch him, and one day I was talking to him, and he said, this was the playoffs, and I just said, Coach, I said, you just look pretty solid, like you're doing everything the way you always do. He said, that's the way I've always done it.
Right. Yeah. And if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Kind of a method, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's right. Well, guys, I think we're going to take a break for just a couple seconds in this segment, and Coach Sloan, we can bring up maybe some of the coaching staff to talk about Union coming up Friday. We do have a game Friday, right, guys?
If they're still here.
We can. I see A. Moats over there.
Coach, you can bring Coach Moats up?
Yeah, maybe we can grab Coach Moats.
Yeah,
but let's take a break for just a couple seconds. Coach Burns, thank you so much for coming. I hope this was a good surprise for Coach Sloan. We wanted to be able to celebrate.
It was a great surprise. I was surprised.
A first in his coaching career, we want to be able to celebrate that a little bit with these guys and having some wings. So thank you once again for being here. Guys, we're going to take a break for just a couple seconds, and we'll be back with more from the Woodruff Wolverine Coaches Show. Okay, everybody, we are back with our next segment on the Woodruff Wolverine Coaches Show. Still live here at Tap 3. Got a room full of varsity football players right now. These guys have wiped out some wings, I think. Just about everything over there is gone. These guys have wiped it out. But now we've got with us the Coach Amos Moats. Coach, how are you?
What's up, buddy? I'm good. How you doing?
Good to see you, man. Let's talk a little bit about the Union County Yellow Jackets. Our last region game of the season before playoffs start. What did the Union Yellow Jackets kind of bring to the table for as far as a challenge for our Wolverines going into Union coming up this Friday?
Union's gonna play hard no matter what their record is.
They got good athletes. I mean, they got
and
good
at
group
this
athletes.
point, at this point in their season, they're just playing spoiler. They're just trying to spoil what we got going on, and we got to look past that and see what and know what our goals are and what we're trying to do. And it's not. We've been telling these guys all week. It's really not about Union this week. It's about us.
Yeah.
So we're not trying to play to their strengths. We're trying to keep rolling on what we do and what makes us good.
Right, and that's kind of what we were saying earlier with Coach Sloan and Coach Burns, and the fact that you guys are going into Game 10. You found out what you do really well. No need to try to go outside of things that you know you're going to do really, really well. So you got to start learning how to excel in those things that you've been doing well.
Sure.
Play your game, not try to do. The one thing that I heard Coach Sloan say a couple weeks ago was the fact that you guys are not, even individual positions on the field, guys are not trying to do too much.
Yeah.
Don't do too much. Play your assignment.
Yes.
And the cards are going to fall like they're supposed to fall. So.
Yeah, doing your job is something we've harped on since day one, and we can't go away from that. One thing about football relates to life a lot is you got to do your job. You got to do what you're coached to do and do it at a high level if you want to go win championships. And I'm so thankful that these guys have bought in and they went and got them a region championship, and you know what's next. So we're gonna push forward and we're gonna go get it. Yeah,
and it's each week it's obvious to see the hard work that you guys are putting in, and that all of these guys out here are incredibly excited to be a part of this program this year. It's always great to come away with a region championship. That's the first notch in the belt, right?
Yes.
I think Coach Sloan has said it before, where you kind of think about football as 3 seasons. You got your non-conference games, you got your conference games, and you guys are after Friday will be going into season 3, which is everybody's 0-0.
Yep.
If you lose, you go home.
Right.
And it's a different mentality, a different mindset that you have to get into, knowing that if you don't score enough points, it's going to be the last game. And it's a lot of pressure.
It is.
It's a lot of pressure, especially on these young guys that are got a lot on their plate, and they're trying to remember all the plays you call. They're trying to remember all their responsibilities. And, But we got every confidence in you guys to know that we're going to put our best foot forward when it comes to the playoffs. But we do have one more game. We got to make sure we go to Union County and we go down there and beat the Yellow Jackets. We will outright have won the region for this year.
For sure.
Leave no doubt. Can we say that?
Yeah.
We're looking to go to Union County to leave no doubt.
Yeah, for sure. We don't want to share it. We don't want it to be close. We want it to be ours. And they've worked hard for it. They earned it. They deserve it. And they just got to go finish the job.
Well, tell me, I know you and I have talked about this a little bit, but having Corey on the team, and Corey is Amos's son. For those of you who didn't know that, Corey is Amos's son. Being able to coach your son at this level, the MVP game was a huge game. Corey was able to come back after an injury where, you guys weren't exactly sure what his status was going to be.
Yeah.
And just being able to see you guys on the sideline each week is awesome to me, because I followed you when you were playing. And I'll have to tell this on you. It's been 2 or 3 weeks ago, some videos started popping up on YouTube, and I don't even know if Coach Sloan has seen it, but I have to let him in. But there was an infamous video from Abbeville.
Yeah.
That this was before all these guys are coming to town and they're making videos and they're making hype videos, and they don't know about the OG
They don't.
hype videos
They don't.
that were coming out of Woodruff High School in 2008, 2009.
It's legendary, man. It's legendary.
And Amos was part of, I believe the sign said "No dancing for Moats."
No more dancing.
So you had to give them a little, something in the end zone.
Yeah, a little 1-2.
Yeah,
I couldn't do too much because I was going.
You didn't want to draw.
B-Lane was going to put me on the hill if I did too much, so I couldn't do too much,
Yeah,
but I had to give them something just because my name was on the sign.
Yeah, you didn't want to get a flag, but those were some fantastic days for Woodruff football as well.
Yes.
And I know that you being able to be there, experiencing that in your high school days, being on the sideline with Corey in this position that we're in right now. What are some things that you remember or you want to share, not just with Corey but all of these guys, about kind of the challenge that they're about to be up against? What's something that you could speak to kind of help them ease their mind and make sure, hey, we're ready to go in and do battle?
One of the things I remember is the preparation. The preparation was the same every day. Square, sack, team pass, and those things that we rep every day. It became who we were. It became, that's how we play. I remember the square and the sack and it relating to those first few plays of the game where we're more conditioned, we're more ready, and at the end of the game, we're not playing and their starters are still on the field. Our starters are all done since the third quarter, and those guys are still out trying to fight for their lives, trying to get on the board. Right. And those are the things, and that's what draws me back to this group here, the way they prepare. Yeah. Those guys give it their all every single freaking day, and that's what it takes. It takes you buying in, understanding, and just going to do your job. It's they remind me so much of my junior and senior class, like when I was a junior and a senior. Especially my senior year, because this senior group is loaded.
Loaded, yeah.
25 seniors, and that's kind of around the number of seniors that I graduated with. Right. And it's kind of like deja vu almost. It's kind of like I'm doing it again. Right. And not only that, I'm able to do it as a father and be there with my son as well. And I'm unbelievably blessed and fortunate to be able to do that. Everybody can't say they can do this at this level. And it's a high level of football that we play and that we coach. Right. And when I was in high school, that was the standard, to go out and do it at a high level. And it's the same as now, and not to knock anybody, but in the past, Woodruff hasn't been at this level. And I'm so grateful to be a part of the team that has gotten back here. Yeah. And now this is the standard, and it won't be a lesser standard anymore moving forward because of these guys that set the standard. Right. And the guys that are looking up to them, like my son Tadion, and those 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders and 6th graders, those middle school guys that are looking at them and can't wait to run out that smoke on Fridays. Yeah, I love it. That is a feeling. I've watched Corey, standing in the corner of the house and pretend he was coming out of the smoke just as a 6-year-old, from being able to hear all those noises from when I played. And, it's just a full circle moment. And just to go back to how you asked me about how is it about coaching him, man, it's fun. Yeah. It's fun. And I don't take it for granted, and just to sit here and watch him grow from my other son's size to where he is now, the 17-year-old that's taller than me, can lift more weights than me. Just works more than I do now, and it's like, he's not that little boy anymore. He in a few short months he'll be a full-grown man. For the most part, and moving on to his second phase in life, which is adulthood, and I'm just so blessed to be able to do this, and I'm a part of a great staff, a respectful team, a respected team, and just everything that I missed out coming through high school, I'm able to relive it and do it better as an adult, as a father, as a better coach.
I hear you, man. I appreciate that, and what I love about it is the fact that you were there at the same level that these guys are about to go to, and you're able to speak into, hey, it's probably going to be nervous. You got a big game coming up in playoffs. Hey, you can work through it. this is, these are some things you can do. With you having been there and done that, I think it's great for these kids to be able to have somebody that can speak into that for them, calm their nerves a little bit, get them prepped and ready for kind of the, each week that's coming up. And each week in the playoffs is going to be harder. It's not going to be a pushover.
Nah.
The farther you go in the playoffs, the harder the teams are going to get.
For sure.
So I think it's awesome that you're able to be here and kind of give back a little bit, kind of like you said, to the program that I know you were pumped to be a part about when you came through.
Yes,
kind of have your own experiences that you could share with these guys. And man, I'm just looking forward to going to Union County, wrapping up the region, and getting started with playoffs in a little over a week. We'll be hosting here for those of you who are out there listening. We'll be hosting here for the playoffs as long as we keep winning for guaranteed at least the first 3 weeks. As far as the playoffs go, I know that coaching staff, coaches don't necessarily like to look ahead. As fans, we like to know kind of what's coming up a little bit.
Right.
So as far as the playoffs go, we definitely will be hosting week 1, week 2, and week 3 as long as we keep winning. So it'll be a good time to pack out W.O. Varner Stadium. We had a couple of pretty electric games this year.
Yeah.
It's great to see that excitement kind of back, and people are excited. We had a room full of people here tonight at Tap 3, and it's just been great to see all of the excitement throughout town about everything we have going on, all the way down to our Little League teams.
For sure.
So, well, guys, we're going to wrap up here for tonight from the Woodruff Wolverine Coaches Show. Thanks again to Coach Randy Burns for coming out, spending some time with us. I know Coach Sloan didn't really know exactly that's what we were doing, but we're super thankful for Coach Burns being here. Amos, thank you for jumping up, talking with us about the upcoming game this Friday, and you guys come on out down to Union County. Still the same stadium location that it's always been, the Union City Stadium down there. So come out and support our Wolverines at Union County. I know it's Halloween. I know there's Halloween on Main, but if you don't have kids out on Halloween on Main, love for you to come down. So thanks again to Tap 3 for hosting us, as always, here live in Main Street, Tap 3. And we're gonna sign off, and we'll see you next week right here at Tap 3 for the Woodruff Wolverine Coaches Show. You guys take care. Have a good evening.
Appreciate it, buddy.